to the game room. Welcome back to the Essen Hall Part 2 video. This video has a lot more of the heavy games. Zena's still eating breakfast. It's the same. It's like literally seconds after the last video for me. But anyway, this one has a lot more of the heavier titles, so there's probably a lot of spicy stuff in here that people are looking forward to. And the one thing I want to add is we definitely have played some of these games that at the time of the recording I hadn't played, but by now I've played, and by the time this video is live I will have played them. So if you haven't followed me on Twitter and you are on Twitter, go ahead and follow me on Twitter and you can scroll through and see what games we've played and talked about, because I talk about them. We played Blackout Hong Kong and we really enjoyed it, and I did a Twitter thread about that, so you can go check that out. Link down below in the doobie-doo. Otherwise, I'm gonna let Zena go back to eating her breakfast in peace. She doesn't even know that I'm doing this, or care, really. I don't really know. And I hope you enjoy part 2. So there you go. Go check out me in the past. Said me in the present. But me in the future uploaded this. There's a lot of me in this video. That's why I cut it in half. Alright. Enjoy. I'm gonna do the fake transition thing. Goodbye! City of Rome! So the US version of this game is called The Great City of Rome. The German version is called City of Rome. So I wanted to get in a play of this because I had read the rules, but I hadn't. A lot of the stuff is card-based in the game, and you don't see those cards just from the rulebook, so it didn't make any of my lists, aside from my list that was like, go check it out. So we went and played it, and we both really enjoyed it, so we picked it up. But it's a it's a tile placement city building game, where adjacency matters on scores, and then it has a really interesting resource mechanic where every round you basically select your draft order where you're going to place on this strip, and the strip tells you how many resources you're gaining that round. So the sooner you go to pick a tile up, the less resources you get, but if you go longer, you're going to gain more resources, but you're going to get worse choice, because you're going to get like last choice or something like that from the cards to build into your city. So yeah, Steve and I really liked it. We played a 4-player game. We're excited to play a 2-player. There's been a couple times when we're like, oh, let's play that. So yeah. Alright, Quinn games. Gotta get one Quinn game every year. This year we got Fiorena's. I can't say this word. So this is actually a reprint of a game that was out years ago, and it's been out of print for quite a while. But you're building like these towers, and it's apparently pretty cutthroat. If you don't build high enough, there's like event cards that can come out and like chop them off and things like that, and you can kind of screw each other. And I read a bunch of reviews online about this game. Somebody mentioned it to me years ago, and I kind of like had it on my radar, and then I was reading reviews when I saw it on the Essen review list or preview list, and like most of the reviews are like, this game is amazing 2-player, this game should only be a 2-player game, this game sucks at 4-player, only play this at 2-player, this is our favorite 2-player. So I got it because we mostly play 2-player. So yeah, there's that. But it's just a re-release or a reprint of a game that already existed, so I didn't put it on any of my lists for like telling the world about kind of thing. So yeah, there you go. Veterans. Okay, next up. Passing Through Petra! So this is from Renegade. This is also an Alex J. Caravan game. And yeah, you have a queue of like merchants going through this canyon, and you can pick a tile from this queue and then add it to your like bottom queue, and then when that pushes somebody out, you move them on top, and then you can activate that, which has different abilities and powers. So it's like a little, it's not really it's a little programmy because you program your bottom queue, but it's interesting. It was interesting. I read the rules. It looked really interesting. I really like how they did the art. Renegade picked this up. I really like how they did the art and the style on that. So yeah. Not a game, but I wanted to show it off. So Yellow's new kids line Loki. When you bought a game, you got a puzzle. So I got a little Loki puzzle. Then, review copies! So, there's a company called Folded Space that is doing foam core, mass-produced foam core inserts. They've done 2 Kickstarters, they're working on the 3rd. But yeah, they have foam core inserts, and they were there last year and I talked to them, but they didn't have any like review products, so I talked to them this year and they were like, yeah, we'd love that. So they gave me a review copy of A Feast for Odin's foam core insert and Village, which they don't have any label on that, but this is Village. Yeah, Village. It's right there. So I'm gonna build it one of these days, like probably next week, maybe the week after. But I'm gonna build one like live tweeting on Twitter, and then I will probably film me doing another one, maybe. I don't really know what I want to do, but one will be for like live tweeting and then the other will be the thing, and then we'll show them off. So yeah, we're excited for the Feast for Odin one. And I asked him, and it does work with the existing like plastic trays that they have in there. So yeah. Not really games. You barked at a squirrel for too long. Okay, The River is Asmodee's new title. It's their Asmodee title for its, sorry. The River is Days of Wonder's title for this year. They only do one game a year. This is their game. It's a worker placement tile building game where when you place your workers, you're placing them on this board to gain resources, to gain like contracts, to get buildings, or to gain tiles, which you add to your river board for like settling. And when you add to your river board, you add in the pattern on your board. And it's super straightforward. You only have a set number of workers, but you can get more. It's like my first worker placement game, but like in an interesting way. So it's very simple, it's very straightforward, and I think it does what Days of Wonder does best, which is introduce like family gamers and casual gamers to like interesting mechanics that are maybe more evolved in other games. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Some of our friends thought it was maybe a little too late, but I think for how quick it is, Steve and I can be really cutthroat with it, and so we'll see. I really want to play it more, so we'll play it more, and we'll see. This was our dexterity game for the show, Tokyo Highway. So Tokyo Highway, Steve and I played it a few years ago. We really liked it, but the import costs, and even just buying it when we were at Essen and then bringing it back, was just so expensive from the original Japanese publisher. We just couldn't justify affording it for what it was, which was popsicles and little cars. We enjoy playing it, but we don't enjoy playing it that much, right? Like, we'll import some games occasionally and that kind of stuff. But now that it's 4-player in one box and it's mass-produced, so it's a lot more affordable for us, we definitely jumped on it. We got it, we played it, we were kind of like, yeah, okay, let's play it, I guess. It's just like a fun game. And then we were playing it in the hotel and we were like, this is great, this is amazing. So yeah, if you've played the giant one at Shock Serenity Show, the giant one leaves a lot to be desired because the giant one is like too stable, but the small one, it's like so finicky and you're in such tight spaces, it's really easy to screw up, whereas in the giant one you can just like stick your whole hand in. In this one there's like tweezers, and you do use the tweezers. So yeah, we picked up Tokyo Highway, which is coming from Asmodee, so it should be available in the US soon. Kiro! So Kiro is a 2-player only game from Hurricane, and it's designed by Prospero Hall, which is a designer conglomerate group company organization up in Seattle. We have some friends that work there. And this is a 2-player only game about rolling dice to get resources to like complete contracts, to not contracts, but to complete goal objective cards. Yeah, and that's it. But it has little plastic semi-trucks that are the sand timers, and okay, look. I started looking at this, sorry. I started looking at this because of the semi-trucks, because of Steve. Steve has a semi-truck driving video game, it's a thing. Don't worry about it. And I was like, oh, it's the game with semi-trucks, and Steve can play it. It's like Alternative War Universe. But on your turn, when you're rolling dice, you stand your truck on the table like that, and the timer goes, and the timer represents your fuel. So, it's just an interesting mechanic. I'm putting the sand back down. And when it's not your turn, you just rest it on the table and it's fine, right? So it's a very interesting, I mean, they could have just done this with timers, right? But it's fuel being the time essence. It's brilliant. It's very interesting. We haven't played it yet. I've read the rules. We're actually going to play this tonight for date night. So you'll learn about that on Twitter in the future or in the past, depending on when this video got edited. Okay, Pandoria! So this is a tile placement game where you are like exploring
civilization, terrain, area, whatever. And it has a mechanic where when you place a tile, you're going to put your dude on it, and then when that person surrounds another... When you place a tile such that a central type of terrain gets fully enclosed, everybody that's around that terrain gains its resource, but anybody standing on the terrain gets nothing, which is a very interesting, weird mechanic. And then you have cards that you can play to benefit various things and to build things and things like that. So, haven't played it yet. Read the rules. Well, watched a preview. Started reading the rules, then watched the preview. But yeah, very interesting tile placement mechanic, so picked that one up. Okay, that's another stacked up. Too many stacks I have around my house. Alright, Realm of Sands! So this is from Emperor S4 Games, and I actually helped a little bit with the development on this game. Eric Martin helped us with the theme idea, and I helped more with the theme idea, and I actually did the English proofreading on the back. Not on the rulebook, but just on the back and stuff. I did a first pass. So yeah. I have a pretty good relationship with Emperor S4. They actually gifted me this copy because I did some work on it, so it made me happy. I actually worked on 2 games with them. I actually also worked on Era of Voyage. I did the 2-player variant, so if you like the 2-player variant, I designed that. So yeah, so Realm of Sands is it's a tile placement game. It's like Patchwork meets Splendor, where the tiles are all around the board and then you're moving a pawn, and so you can only pick one of the tiles within a certain space of the pawn, a la Patchwork, and then you're picking up those tiles to make patterns on your board, and then the patterns on your board, you want to get them to match patterns on cards, and when you get them to match the patterns on the card, you get the card, a la Splendor style. And the game ends when a certain number of people has gotten a certain number of icons. They added some asynchronous player power since I last played it in development, which makes me excited to try it again, and it's just super beautiful. I really like what they went with the art direction and how far they went with it. So yeah, I'm really happy that they decided to give me a copy. Thank you very much, Emperor S4. Santa Maria! We actually already own this. This is actually our copy of Santa Maria, but we got the Santa Maria expansion, which is in here. This game is it's got a lot of controversy around it for the theme. I'm done with talking about that. I think I talked about it in a video for my Essen Games 11 Months Later video. Yeah. Anyway, Steve and I aren't super upset about the theme. It's weird to talk about. Like, from one standpoint, we're like, yeah, the theme's not great, but it's not awful. Like, there's things that are worse to us. So anyway, we really enjoy the game, so we picked up the expansion. That's all I'll say on that. And no, I didn't take this whole box with me. I put the expansion in it already, and it's in the stacks because it reminds us that we need to play this. Yeah, so. Okay. And here's the game. The one game I bought this entire Essen that I literally knew nothing about. I just bought it because one of my friends was like, buy it. I literally still know, I like read a preview skim. It's Solina. So there's like airships and you're placing tiles or you're like building things in the sky. I don't know. I honestly don't know, but we had a friend, Adam, who was like, yeah, I know this is like the one. There was a bunch of people, we were waiting in line at the Asmodee store, and they were like running for this tile, and it was like flying off the shelf, and our friend Adam actually bought 2 copies, and I was like, oh, okay, and he was like, no, you should like it, and we usually like Adam's games, not Adam's games, but games that Adam likes, so we went ahead and picked up a copy. So there you go. We'll be probably streaming this at some point, if it's good. Hopefully it's good. Because they charged us twice for that. That's the thing. Asmodee accidentally charged us twice for it, and it's cash, so we can't dispute the credit card, and we didn't notice it till we were going through our receipts when in America. So, I only have one of these, but I paid for 2. Don't know what to do about that. Okay. Fertility! This was a review copy. Thank you very much, Black Rock Games, for giving us this, but it was on my list. I was interested in it already. This is a tile placement game from the designer of Sapiens, which would explain why it feels like Sapiens, but you're playing your domino-style tiles into a central board that everybody's playing on, and when you make up matches, you gain the resources depicted on the tiles, and then you use those resources to complete, like, contract-y style things. on some of your own market tiles. And they're not worth anything to you at the end of the game if you haven't completed them. So we played it once. It was interesting. I wish to play it again because I got my butt handed to me. But yeah, I think I might like Sapiens more. I don't know. We'll play this again and then we'll play Sapiens and then we'll see. But Sapiens is one of those games that I really enjoy. We have it. It's up on an upper shelf, which means we like it a lot. And like no one talks about that game anymore. It's so good. Next up, another review copy. There's no bags holding any of the bits in these because I just dumped. Yeah, it's bad. Okay, Nemeton. This was also a review copy thanks to BlackRock Games. Thank you, BlackRock Games. So this one is, the forest is dying and you basically send druids out to move among the forest, to collect resources, to like make potions, to do things in the forest. It looks beautiful. The components are all beautiful. There's like little trees that you stand up in the forest. You have little druid tokens that you move around. It looks gorgeous. It was on a couple of the top lists for Essen. And so I had looked at it originally, and I wanted to demo it, and then they were just like, here, just have a copy. So, there you go. Oh my goodness. How long is this video? Too long. The Spielworks title for this year was Captains of the Gulf by Jason Dinger. I talked about this, it was on our anticipated list. This one, you are fishermen in the Gulf of Mexico, and you're fishing. That's it. But it has multi-use cards. This is upside down. It has multi-use cards, but you have a little boat and you're upgrading them. And so you need a fishing license to fish certain types of fish, and then you can hire crew, upgrade your boat, and then you need the cards. The same card does all four of the things, which is fishing license, upgrade boat, hire crew, or go fishing, which is important for scoring and winning the game. So, yeah. This one is on our list to play maybe this weekend when we have some downtime. So yeah. We were supposed to go to BGG-Con, but things happened, so we're not going again. It's fine. It's not like last year. Still really bummed about it though. But this was one of the games we were gonna like really hoping to play with people, but instead we're just gonna like stay home. Steve might still take vacation and we might just do our own like BGG Con from home. So yeah, and we'll just play a bunch of the bigger heavy games from Essen that weekend. The game that everyone ran for. Teotihuacan. City of the Gods. This one was like super popular. They brought 500 copies and they sold out before noon on day 1. So, yeah. This is from the designer of Tzolk'in. We love Tzolk'in. But you have boards and there's like a mahjong tile. This is the worst part. So I got this game, we paid for it, because it's like one of the buzz ones. So we need to stream it. We need to play it and stream it so I can talk about it at the store, I can talk about it on Twitter, I can be logical and talk about it. From the fact that it's from the designer of Tzolk'in means yes, we would probably like it. I hope we like it, 'cause it's not overly expensive, but it's not cheap. But I don't know anything about it, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I cannot make it through any of the playthrough videos. I have tried to watch every playthrough video that existed before Essen that is in English, literally every single one that is on BGG for this game, and I could not make it through. I could not even start. Like, they could not get through the rules. I tried Slicker Drips, and he does a 2-player one, and I just could not do it. I cannot watch playthroughs. It is so very difficult for me, and this game is like so dense, I just couldn't even. And so I just need to sit down and read the rules and do it. So, yeah. Yeah. I am not someone that can learn from videos. I can't learn from videos like at all. I have to read things. Games. I can learn techniques from videos, but games. Games I cannot. We're nearing the end, and by that I mean we have like 10 more. Tetris the board game! So this is Ariel? I don't know how to say it. But this is from Nuno and Paulo, the famous Brazilian designers. But this is about a Portuguese party game. This was on my anticipated list. It is Tetris, the board game. There's like the center thingy, and on your turn you have 3 actions. So you can either take tiles, or you can rotate the thingy. And so when you take them, you're going to drop them into your party and you're trying to make groups of colors, but you don't want to make like a huge group of colors. You want to make small pockets of colors to gain bonus meeples. So yeah, we played it. It's very straightforward. It's very easy. It's Tetris the board game. When we do a stream night, that's just like Tetris Roll and Rights and Tetris the board game, because that was a thing this year. So it's good. It's good. It's very colorful. It's very interesting. My mom would like absolutely love it. I don't know if Steve liked it. Steve was falling asleep while he was playing it, so we need to play again so I can get his actual opinion, his conscious opinion. So, okay. Ceylon! This is the tea game. So this is by people I know. Cardboard Republic? No, Cardboard Edison. This is the Cardboard Edison. That's it. Right? God, I'm so sorry. But yeah, this is a tea game where it uses the card action thingy where like when you play a card, there's always 2 actions on it. And when you play it, you select which one you want to do, and then everyone else gets to do the other one, which is pretty interesting. So, and then there's like sub actions that you can do and stuff. But you're planting tea, and then you're harvesting tea to get tea. So yeah, haven't played it yet. Gonna play it. Interested to play. It's my #1 from Essen. It's Futuropia from Freedom and Freeze. This was a gift copy from Stronghold. Thank you very much for providing us with this copy so we can stream. I've done some English tutorial videos for some of the games that Stronghold's releasing, so they sometimes give me games. The sun is going down and being covered by a cloud and changing my light. Ah! But this is a perfect information game. It's an economy game, and it's a balance game. You have these little condos a la like Bunkers Fallout style. It's literally like Friedman was playing the Fallout Shelter game on his phone and just was like, I want to make a board game about that, because that's what this is. But why is that person laying down? No idea. Anyway, at the end of the game, you get a ton of points for every worker that you have that is fed, has an apartment, and isn't working. And so you're trying to like balance. You need robots to like power stuff, but robots take more power, and then you have to like generate food and power to like power the living corridors. So it's a perfect information economic balance game where there's some markets that will fluctuate based on when people take things, which is really interesting. We really liked it, like super duper liked it, loved it. I have a small concern about replayability. If we like played the snot out of this, if we played it like 5 or 6 times, I feel like Steve and I would learn the market and each other so much that it wouldn't be super interesting after a while. It's kind of like with Agricola, All Creatures Big and Small, where you've played it a bunch and you know like the optimal starting moves. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But it's very straightforward. It's so straightforward. It's easier to teach than Power Grid, I think. So yeah, I think I might try to play this with my family. So, because my brother, they really like Power Grid. I think this is faster. So yeah. There you go. This one is one that Steve and I went and played, and there's no English copies, so we bought it in German. It's Liftoff! So I was really curious about this game. Hans and Gluck does not put rulebooks up before the Essen show at all, so there was literally no information except for the publisher blurb about this game. But it's upside down. You each have rockets, and you draft cards every round, and the cards have actions on them that you can play to use, and the actions are like upgrade your rocket, or get more income, or acquire these like technology cards that you need. And you need certain technology cards to gain certain missions, and those missions use your rocket that you're building to like launch into space, and you get points for those missions and other bonuses that help you like engine build. So you're rocket building and engine building this like thing, and at the end of the game whoever has the most points wins, and you get points by helping build the International Space Station, completing different missions and things like that. And also you can get points by like helping other people with technology advancements and stuff. It's very subtle, the player interaction. It's mostly in the card drafting and the racing for certain things. Not really a lot of racing, but yeah. Steve and I really liked it. We played it with a German dad and kiddo, and we had some language issues playing it with them, but we both really, really liked it, and we've been wanting to work on our German, and we don't often buy games that are only in German because it's really hard to sell them over here. And we made a conscious decision. This is our one game that is just in German, no English. And that's kind of a risk for us, but we liked it so much that we bought it thinking, oh, we're probably not going to sell this for a long time, or if we do, we could even bring it back to Germany and sell it. So, yeah, liftoff. Haben zum Glück. I don't know if it's coming to the States. Do not know, but we might stream it in German. I don't know. Really liked it. Alright. Blackout Hong Kong. This is a review copy. Thank you very much, Edgar Spiel, for providing us with this copy of Blackout Hong Kong to stream. This is, I keep looking over here. I'm really sorry today. We will be streaming this game. This is a Alexander P. Pfister, and it's like a programming action something game. I'm blanking right now entirely, but it's like card economic resource management. It's super interesting. It's super dense. Our friends Afka and John and Elaine and Tom played it, and they were like, it was really good. We shouldn't have started it at midnight, but it was really good. So yeah, we're interested to try it again, but this is a longer, crunchier game that we're gonna have to set some time aside to pick that one up and play it. Next up, Gugong. So this one is one that I read the rulebook for. I think it was on my list. Where you play cards as gifts to achieve stuff, but like the board just I love it. It's so busy. There's a lot of different things and objectives that you can go and do in this game, but none of it matters unless you basically 100% on the Forbidden City staircase, which means that you get an audience with the Emperor. So it was an interesting idea. And then the way that cards, every action is card driven. You have to play a card to activate an action, but the card that you play should be higher than the one on the slot that you're playing it for, but you like get the one that you're playing it on top of. You can mitigate that a little bit, but yeah, it's interesting. I'm really interested to play it. It was a Kickstarter one. We'll see if it's good. We'll see. The last three. Here we go. Underwater Cities. So this one is from Vladimir Suchi. So he does a lot of work with CGE. For this title, he decided to do his own thing, and he went with a smaller publisher. I think it might even be his publisher. I'm not sure. So I don't know when this is going to be in the States. Somebody's got to pick it up and bring it over. But you're building your own little underwater, like, engine building factory place, and you are building an engine because there's these, like, action selection spots around the board that are colored, and when on your turn you play a card to one of these slots, and if the card color matches the color slot that you're playing into, you get to keep the card. And a lot of the cards, some of them are instances, so you get that bonus once, but some of them are like reoccurring things that you can do, either actions or like permanent effects that can keep helping you. And so there's some engine building and whatnot. My hesitance on this one is that I'm worried about the card mitigation, because if you get dealt a hand of cards that isn't great, it's really hard to like shift those and swap it out. So we'll see. I haven't played it yet though, so yeah. But I saw some people playing it and they seemed to enjoy it. So here's hoping. Vladimir Suchi games are super hit and miss for us. I almost didn't pick it up, but it's on a lot of lists, so it's like, we need to stream it. Speaking of a game that was on literally no one's list, Crown of Amarta! So this was one where Steve and I actually spent a lot of time in the predominantly German hall, just playing games that I had seen and looked at, but because there was no, like, pure English publisher and it wasn't coming to the US, I hadn't really looked at it hardcore, but we actually spent a lot of time in that hall playing a lot of fun German games, and this was one that we played and we were pleasantly surprised by. So this is by Benjamin Schweier, who mostly does hobby games, actually. He's a designer on a lot of hobby games. But it's a Euro game with 2 rondels, and then like you have like program slots. They're not really program slots, but you have slots that you play to that move your dude around the rondel, and then you get bonus actions and tokens to complete objectives and cards. But it's one of the games where you're building a reputation, and you do that by gaining favor of citizens, and then you have to build those citizens' houses. So at the end of the game, you have 2 tracks. You have your citizen track and your housing track, and at the end of the game, your score is whichever one's the lowest, because if you have a bunch of favor with a ton of citizens, but you have not many buildings, you only score however many buildings you have, Whereas if you've built a ton of buildings, but you don't have enough citizens to fill them, you only get points equal to the number of citizens you have. So, yeah. And last but not least, records from Uwe Rosenberg. So this is the Uwe Rosenberg like big release for this year. He had the 2 expansions and they had this guy. So yeah, this is like a lighter Uwe Rosenberg. So you have greenhouses and you're like planting seeds in the greenhouses to harvest them to get stuff, and then there's like card actions and things that you can play. It's worker placement. You obviously go to worker spots, but it's like pretty quick. It plays in like 45 minutes-ish. So yeah, the production quality is over the roof. It's Renegade and Frosted Games. So we haven't played it yet. We're interested to play it. Our friends played it and said that they really liked it. It was the Uwe Rosenberg experience in 45 minutes. So we'll see. We're interested in that. Now I need to sneeze! We're interested in Uwe Rosenberg. We like Uwe Rosenberg. We'll see how it goes. Cool. And that's it. It's finally it. Oh! There's one other thing we brought back. Remember how I said ELO launched a new kids line called Loki and the mascot's a corgi? This is Loki. I bought him because I needed him in my life. So yes, we brought him back. He's so soft. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. We brought back Legos. Steve, my husband's a nerd. I love him. So this is like, my hobbies in public life are my hobbies are like very public on Twitter. Like I quilt and I knit and I crochet and stuff like that. But what you didn't know about Steve is that he plays space video games and semi-truck video games. And he builds 2-scale miniature replicas of spaceships in Lego. It's like one of his things. He's like got a Lego designer account and he does that. And so he found a booth at Essen that sold random bags of like bits, Lego bits, like small ones for some amount. And so he bought 3 bags for like €7, which apparently is an amazing deal. And there's some like really, like some of these pieces that he got just in these big old bags, like eBay for like $2 for a little tiny Lego piece. So he bought 6 bags overall of these Legos, these like specialty Lego pieces, so he can build his little miniature replica spaceships. So I brought that back from Germany too, and he sorted them out the other night and I posted a picture on Twitter, because yeah. So that's one of Steve's little hobbies that people don't know about. He has a lot of hobbies that he doesn't tell people about because he's very shy and nervous. But yeah, so that was the other like larger item that I brought back from Europe. And I recorded a video about packing. So who knows, I gotta edit it into something that makes sense, that isn't just a time lapse of me packing stuff for 2 hours. It took me 3 hours. 3 hours? It took me like 3.5 hours. Maybe 4. I don't know. It took me a long time to punch, nest, and pack everything. But we did it. We had very minimal dishing. So, getting better every year. So many games. Alright, thank you for watching. I hope this video was interesting or something. I don't know. Haul videos are always weird to me. It's like, hey, look what I bought. But hopefully that gives you some insight on why we picked up what we picked up, and you can see what's coming for future streams and things like that. But yeah, if you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, make sure you subscribe. And if you haven't checked out the Essen vlogs yet, please feel free to check those out. We actually managed to do 1-day turnaround. All of them are done. They're all up. So you can experience Essen like how we experienced it. So if you weren't able to attend, you can kind of get a feel of what it's like.